Tech Tuesday with Yusuf Farah. Wednesday, the special edition Business Chat with Ibtisam Jamal. All about your health on Healthy Thursdays with Mariam Wacharo. Aisha Khan with thorny pertinent issues every Friday on the Round Table. Fresh discussions, direct probe in Sabah Show, only on Horizontv.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV. All right. It is now time to talk matters technology. My panelists are here with me today and we'll be discussing digitizing transport. Good morning, guys. How are you? You guys are ready? All right, let's get things started. Now, get this. Technology is fast becoming a priority as far as transport is concerned. At the simple click of a button, you can be able to book your flight, train, bus, or anything related to traveling, simple as an Uber while you're sitting at home. But the down part of it is it's also affecting other businesses. And today on Tech Tuesday, we will be discussing digitizing transport, but at the same time, how is it beneficial and what are the problems that come with the same? Now in studio with me to discuss this, I have George Makori, the Chief Operating Officer at Voltec Limited. Good morning.
Good morning.
And I have Fauzia Ismail, Senior Travel Consultant at Libken. Now, I'll start with George. The idea of an online booking system, where did it come from?
You see, travel, just like any other business, is customer-centric.
Yes.
So the business owners, with time, they had to find convenient ways to reach their market and, again, to widen their scope, their reach. So with time, they've had to try and find ways and means to make it more convenient for their services to be available to their customers and being available 24/7. You see, travel is not bound by time. Like, it's only available 8 to 5. It's a 24-hour business. Now, the business owners had to embrace technology to be able to reach their customers and have their services available throughout. So with time, we started with having websites where customers were able to book their tickets. Actually, it started from emails. You email your travel plan, then the bus company or the transport company books for you your schedule. But with time, it's had to be automated and make this whole process simple for customers to be able to book their travel. So that's why we have now automated websites, mobile apps, where you're able to book your whole trip from start to finish at the click of a button. And with the automation of payments, now you're able to even pay remotely. And then all you do is just show yourself and board your means of transport.
All right, very interesting. And you've developed a system that allows all this to happen. How is the concept like? Does a travel company come to you and tell you we want, say, a website, an app, or a system, or the whole idea of bringing it from an idea to becoming a tangible thing that people can use? How is it done?
Actually, it's interesting. The space we operate in, you get bus companies. Now, specific to my business, we are in the bus company space. So we actually do approach some companies and others come to us. So we automate the whole process. The biggest challenge is, transport in Kenya, it's cash-based.
Yeah.
So, and they have different pay points across the country. So you find one bus company might have 40, 50 outlets, all of them collecting cash. So they used to have a challenge in doing reconciliation of all these monies and collecting it until it hits the bank account of the bus company. So bus owners, they used to say they were the minority shareholders because they used to receive what their employees decided they get.
Okay.
So the cashiers were the first owners because they'll forward what they feel the owner should get. Then the managers, then eventually it gets to the bus owner. By the time it gets to the bus owner, he has to pay now if it's a vehicle gotten on bank finance, insurance, spare parts. So he was the last one to get paid. So we saw a need for us to develop a solution to help manage the operators in how they run their businesses. So right now, what we do when you approach a bus company, tell them we'll automate the whole process of revenue collection at your point of sale. We'll give you multiple payment options, and then we'll provide your services on more platforms to your customers, so you have a wider reach to your customers. So you'll have a mobile app, you'll have a website.
Okay.
Yeah. So mobile and website, those are secondary points of sale. The primary is over the counter, and over the counter, once they use the system, the owner has visibility in real time across his whole market reach on the sales that are done in his company.
All right, very interesting there. But Fauzia here begs to differ, and I'd just like her to share her sentiments on the same.
And when it comes to online bookings, I'll say there's too much availability, which ends up confusing the client one way or another, because when you have too much of options, you end up not knowing which to settle for or what. As for me, I'm in a business where I deal with flights and hotels, not really when it comes to buses, but online is just online. What we do in our office is when you walk in as a client, a walk-in client, for example, I'll be able to guide you because of the knowledge I have when it comes to traveling. I'll guide you on your itinerary, like where you like to visit, give you, if you miss a flight, what is the penalty and the costs. Instead of being in an online where you book your flight, and we have this habit of just clicking on agree
Yes.
the rules without even reading it.
Yeah.
Then you end up missing maybe a flight, and the whole flight is cancelled, or maybe it's non-refundable. But while if you visit a travel agency today, the travel consultant will be able to guide you by telling you this is the amount of money you'll pay if you miss your flight, there's a no-show fee, there's a change of visa, there's cancellation if you need a refund for a period of maybe 10 to 15 days to come back for your money. But when it comes to online, there's no one-on-one thing. So you miss your money without, maybe for just a small mistake that you just did not read the. As for me, that's what I believe. I believe online is something that is not for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, George, she raised something that is very important, and it's something that majority of Kenyans are, I'd say, are into. Or there's this thing that we do, and she said, click to agree. You know, when downloading applications, when checking for stuff in a website, we're very quick to go and click agree without necessarily reading the terms and conditions, without reading the policy guidelines, without checking on the penalties. So say, as a person who is in this business, how is it that you'd ensure that, say, I've gone online and clicked agree without reading, and then I come later to complain that I lost my cash? I know it's something that's in us. Most of us do it without necessarily, let's say, we're being ignorant. But how do you, as Voltec, ensure that a customer who comes to book online gets to go through all of these procedures?
All right. So traditionally,
yes,
most terms and conditions are very lengthy documents.
Yes, very lengthy.
You know, no one reads. People scroll and then just click. I accept.
Yeah.
Whatever that means, you already book. All you want is to have your ticket. So we've been trying to figure out why do people ignore all these terms. So, and what we've we've been finding out is if you have too lengthy, most of these clauses, you'll find that within those lengthy terms and conditions, people are telling applicable laws and such like information. So we pick the critical clauses. So we'll tell you the ticket you're booking is not refundable and we present it to you. It's like trying to make it foolproof. By the time we're going to issue you a ticket, we'll present it to you in 4 or 5 sentences in big font. People avoid the small font terms and conditions. So just show you the ticket you're booking is unrefundable, or you can only cancel it X number of hours before departure. So we just pick the most frequently rules that come into play and present it to the customer at the last part of the booking journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you ensure that they know.
Yeah, they will make sure they know, and that the terms and conditions are always available for them. Again, when they go to the office and they print the ticket, at the back of the ticket we always have the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
So we present the terms and conditions at all points of information that we are able to access. So on the tickets, the terms and conditions are displayed in the bus companies. On the website, the terms and conditions are available all the time. But we pick the most critical terms because mostly the terms that come into play when a ticket is cancelled would be the cancellation fee, the cancellation policy, reporting time. So there are about 4 or 5 critical terms which we clearly display.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perhaps maybe Fauzia, you can.
You see, that's where the difference comes.
Yeah.
I don't know about bus and rules and regulation, but when it comes to the airline and flight bookings, there's different. Every class of booking has a different rules. So if today I'm going, for example, Nairobi, Mombasa, with the lowest class, that means the lower the fare, the higher the restriction. So if I'm going online and just, for example, and the app only updates certain rules, and for a flight that does not, you won't settle for that, because every class of booking has a different fare basis. Like you have to read and understand this is only for this class. I won't go online and use the same that maybe I booked a flight 2 days ago, knowing that that was the rules that I read, and go to the next, maybe on another destination, and still have that in mind without reading, and I click and go. So that's where people end up messing themselves. And another thing is where there's no coordination. For example, Yusuf, today, if I come to your office, I know I'm dealing with Yusuf directly.
Yes.
Compared to when there's an app that regulates all these airlines together, or hotel bookings. Coordination matters a lot, because when you come to my office, you're dealing with me directly.
Okay.
Before you leave, you have everything you need, and I know that the flight that I've given you is confirmed, that you will not go to the airport and being told maybe the flight is overbooked, or maybe the hotel I've booked you is, the guys are not knowledgeable that there's someone coming. Okay. You see, when you're dealing with a direct contact, than when you're using an app that is coordinating with other companies, they have to, and sometimes that coordination takes time. They won't. For example, it happened to me. I book sometimes online in a hotel, and you end up visiting the hotel, and they have no knowledge at all that you are even coming.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So online is a disadvantage sometimes.
George,
I'd like to respond to that.
Yes, please.
You know, right now the public is more informed. There are more options available, and with the nature of clients that we are looking at, whether it's airline or bus transport, time is an issue. So the period someone takes to book their ticket matters. So you'll find traditionally people would have to go to different airlines or different bus companies checking how much do you charge for this. But now we're presenting all this data for you using technology at the click of a button. So it's quicker, faster. If I feel if I would go to a travel agent, it'll depend with their personality
Okay.
And they might not give me all the options. They might look at me, okay, you might only afford a ticket worth X amount. So the only options I'll give you are limited to the budget I've categorized you in. But the technology, it'll give me all the options available, and I'll be able to see other options which I might not even have been aware that existed. Travel company Y probably now is available. I'd never heard about it. But the technology, I'll be able to see it. I'll see how much they're charging. I'll even be able to get a more convenient location where I might be able to be picked or dropped from. So technology is all about convenience. It's packaging all my needs. You see, I'll be able to pick something that fits my personality and my convenience and my budget. So it gives me the flexibility to be able to manage all my travel. So with technology, again, different from the traditional method of booking, what I'm able to do is, other than waiting for a travel agency to open at 8 a.m., at midnight, probably I've gotten an urgent matter which I need to attend the following day. I'll be able to do it. I'll do my booking. I don't have to wait until tomorrow morning. Go start looking for an open office to book a ticket, and then now start figuring how to get to where I'm supposed to board my mode of transport.
Okay, perhaps before we go on the break, Fauzia, you can answer the
Actually, I disagree with you, George, because I won't talk about other travel agents, but as I'll talk about Lipken. As a travel consultant, we are there to assist our our clients 24/7. So even if you call me at midnight, you're stranded in the airport, you've left your flight, I'll be there opening my computer and sorting you out. So it depends with what kind of a travel agency you're dealing with and how complex they are, or how they will be able to assist you. And the other thing is about what you said is you have everything and you're saying maybe it's saving time. I believe travel agency is more of a save time, because you won't be on your system hustling around thinking, should I go with KQ, should I go with Emirates? And now you have no idea how KQ flight is or Emirates flight. That's where I am here to handle and explain to you how KQ flight is and how Emirates flight is. And maybe if you want an aisle seat or a window seat or whichever explanation you want, I'll be able, and I won't look at you and say maybe George fits KQ. I won't be able to do that, because the first time you walk in my office, I'll give you from the cheapest to the highest. It's you to choose whichever is suitable for you. So options are there, and also travel consultants are there to assist.
All right, the thoughts of Fauzia Ismail right there defending the travel agencies, and George here saying that traditional. That thought brings us to the first end, but when we come back, we'll be talking about the do's and the don'ts as far as online bookings is concerned. Don't go too far. This is Tech Tuesday. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
La kutafakari.
Jumba zataka mahaba ya ikhwa, zataka attention. Nana amekuja kusemesha punguza TV. Mwambie kipenzi changu, tunda la macho yangu, kitulizo cha moyo wangu, wasemaje Nana? Angalia maneno atakavyokuwa. Ule mtoto wa kike wallahi atatabasamu kama ni maji, huenda mikono kamtetema mpaka kayamwaga. Ama kuulize mume wangu leo mzima, aone labda ni wahusia malaka al-maut ushamuona, manake hajawahi kusikia maneno yale ukimwambia, ila zile siku kimtongoza mitaani kabla hujamuoa. Tangu mtie nyumbani wewe, kwa kuwa ana friji na TV na chakula, wewe ujishika kiuno, kama simpendi ningemfanishia nyumba, kama simpendi ningemlisha kuku mimi kila Jumapili. Wewe unajitona namna ile. Kweli roho? Kama simpi attention mimi,
La kutafakari.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV. Welcome back to Tech Tuesday with me, your host Yusuf Farah, discussing digitizing technology. With me in studio is George Makori and Fauzia Ismail, two people who are really defending what they believe in and what they stand for now. Before we went for the break, I was saying we will be discussing the do's and the don'ts as far as booking online is concerned. So, George, please kindly explain, like, what is it that I need to do and what is it that I need to avoid when I'm booking something online?
All right, so I know the biggest challenge with online booking is security and the data that you're sharing online.
Yeah.
So the do's is just make sure that you know you have your correct details, and when you're doing your booking, I know people don't like sharing their actual data, but giving actual data is what will help your booking reflect exactly what you're looking for, in terms of giving your name, ID, and telephone number. The don'ts is when you're making any online booking and it has a mode of payment online, make sure you look at the URL. Most of the times if it's an online website, just before where you enter your URL, as soon as you enter the address, there's always a padlock sign. If the address does not have that padlock sign, do not enter your card details, because that website is not secure.
All right.
So whenever you're sharing your information, whether it's personal data or payment data, make sure this website is secure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, despite the fact that we are buying into technology, Africa as a continent is lagging behind at 37% compared to other continents that are Asia and Europe that are standing at 57 and above into the idea of online booking. And they are still all going down to whatever Fauzia is doing. It's like, are we scared to book tickets online, feeding our information, or is it that the travel agencies are giving them better service? Let's start with Fauzia, and then we'll get back to George.
I think I'll say we are giving better services in persons compared to doing your own thing online, maybe through your phone or your laptop. That's a service that you're doing it yourself, compared to when someone else who is knowledgeable handling it for you and explaining that if you don't do this, this is what will come up, or don't do this, because you don't even have to think about your do's and your don't, because there's someone knowledgeable that is handling and everything for you. And the other thing George said is about the padlock thing. How many people will know that padlock means and that is not safe, or this is safe? That's where people end up. And as Kenyans, we fear a lot when it comes to using our cards. And the other thing is, for example, the app that George is saying, maybe that's local and it accepts maybe local payments. What if you're talking about an app that is international and the only cards they accept is Visa and MasterCard, and not everybody has? A local Kenyan person walks around with his cash, or the cards that they have is not, cannot be used on those apps. So I think that's where the percentage is coming, because what if you have an option of walking in the next office that you can see is a travel agency, and you'll be led one by one, and I'll be calling my client until I know that they have taken their flight. Or if anything happens to maybe there's a delay on flight, I know how to handle that airline by saying I need to accommodate my client. What happens on an app? If I book today my booking on an app, then I go to the airport and the flight has delays, I end up being stranded in the airport because who will I be contacting? The only thing is to do is send a message on the app by saying my flight delayed, and mostly what do they do about it? But as for me, I know I'll be missing a client, so I have to deal with the airline by saying you have to accommodate my passenger and maybe get a hotel on their expense and everything.
George, do you feel like whatever he's saying is justified?
All right. I'll just respond to it. And I would say, you see, what technology is coming to do is not coming to replace the services being offered by travel agents and putting a split between the customer and the travel company. What technology is doing is trying to look at what services can we offer the customer. How can we improve our services? So let's get rid of the rudimentary process, because even if a customer walks into the business, there's some set of information which they'll share, which would be standard, whether I pick the data from an online portal or when it's a face-to-face. So what they're doing, they're trying to move that manpower that would have sat down and collected the data, then go back office, enter the same data for you, and allocating this resource to improving the service delivery for you. So instead of having 5 people coming to collect data, where are you traveling from, where are you going to, what are the dates, that person will be at the airport or at the bus stop waiting to receive you, making sure that your luggage have already been loaded to the vehicle or the airline. The person will be at the back office waiting to assist you in the event you need to change. So that personal touch is still there. So we are allocating more of this stuff to better your customer journey than to do work that the customer would have done quickly and proceeded to the next level. So instead of having a lot of manpower at the front end, where probably the customer is able to handle all this. And remember, the people we are dealing with right now, they are exposed, they are more learned in terms of using online forms. And most online bookings today, if you have a look at them, you'll find they've simplified the process of booking, because the process of doing development for these online bookings or either on website or apps, they actually test. They give it to people you call dummies and ask them, please try use this system. How easy is it for you to use it? What can we improve? So the process before the system is unleashed to the public, it goes through various processes and tests. By the time it's given to the public, it's as easy as they come. Now, just to respond, I mentioned about the padlock, and I might have shot myself in the foot, but it's not just the padlock. You see, when it comes to
redeem yourself,
when it comes to the security, and you get to a point where it's the site is asking you for payment. Actually, the web browsers today, they'll warn you. They'll tell you this site is not secure, but then they'll still give you a chance to decide for yourself whether you still want to proceed or not. But they'll warn you, like they'll stop everything, put a new screen, and tell you this site is not secure. Whatever information you're sharing is not safe. So it's a free society. So they'll still let you, if you want to go ahead, go ahead. They cannot tell you, no, we are terminating the whole process. So,
but that's where George comes up about these apps. For example, if today you go into Google and put, what is the name? Iberia as an app, will I get its own website of like separate, or will I be able to get under so many other
subscriptions?
actually,
yeah,
it's a standalone on its own. Mostly, if I talk about our market, people would use services that they've had someone else used, or they've seen being advertised or marketed in a reputable platform, a platform that they trust. So if I come to this show and I talk about Ayabiri, next time someone sees Ayabiri, they'll be like, okay, I know this app, I saw it on this show, so I trust it. when actually, there's one question I hadn't responded to you. You were asking about the penetration of technology in this region. One of the challenges that we had before was modes of payment. Because you can do everything else, but if you don't pay and get the ticket issued, it's useless. So with time, we've had different modes of payments coming into play. Mobile money. We have very many payment integration companies. So what they do, they'll come give you option to integrate with card payment, mobile money, and other options like PayPal and
Visa,
Bitcoins. So Visa is under the cards there. So now, what happens is you as a business, once you decide to go online, you have to give all options and integrate, accept all these payments. Good thing these days, even banks themselves, they give you the integration for card payment and mobile money. So they're making it easier. And that's why the numbers are jumping up every year. So you find more and more companies are embracing technology because of the ease of integrating payments. Previously, it used to be very difficult because you had to get an external party to come do the integrations for you. But nowadays, banks do that for you. Even they assist some companies to register pay bills. Once they collect the payment, it reflects immediately in their bank account.
All right. Let's talk about the issue of systems going down or systems being delayed, or maybe you've gone into an online booking system and it's just constantly buffering and buffering and buffering. Yeah. How do you deal with that?
All right. There would be two possible issues why you might have that.
Yes.
Number one, internet connectivity from the customer, the person accessing the service. And secondly, it might be the system from the transport company. So this boils down to the infrastructure available. Now, most companies, when they have a very small budget for the IT infrastructure, they'll go for the smallest package. So what happens is, this service, once it becomes popular, the quota of the IT infrastructure you've been allocated gets depleted very quickly. And your resources, now it's like you get, your service is terminated. Just like, it's like airtime. You put 100 shillings airtime. Once you finish the 100 shillings airtime, you cannot access the service unless you top up. So you'll find, because of budgetary issues and again, lack of information, a transport company would take a developer. They'll use the same developer to deploy the infrastructure, like the back end of the system. Now, the developer might not understand how servers work, how the infrastructure needs to be interconnected, the resources required for these services to be accessed. Because he knows how to build a system, and he'll build a very wonderful system. But if the supporting infrastructure is not scaled to the requirement of the company, definitely it'll get to a point you'll be told site cannot be accessed, or you're trying to access a service, it takes too long to respond. But good thing is, these services being offered by the IT companies, they've known that there's a gap here. So they do. They look at what you're deploying and they'll advise you. For you to be able to do this, you need this amount of infrastructure, this capacity.
Okay.
And that one is getting addressed. Now, when it comes to the other end, we do recognize that there's still a section of the population that don't have access to the internet. So what do? We have other channels of technology that we can use, not necessarily having internet or smartphones. So you have USSD services. These are places where you dial star, number, hash, and it'll give you a feedback in terms of text. Or we also embrace technology. Even telephone calls is a mode of technology. So we give telephone numbers you can call. They're toll-free numbers. So the user is not charged.
Then
and then
done for you.
Then we do the booking on a online portal. Even for the travel agent, in the back office, they still use our technology. Yeah.
All right. Fauzia, let's hold your sentiment for the next segment. Clearly, you want to answer him, and this will take a while. But we'll take a quick break. But when we come back, as Fauzia goes to defend travel agencies, George here will be talking about the iAbiri app. Stay tuned for that. This is still Tech Tuesday. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Wanashitati nashta, watakaowafisha nyinyi ni malaika wa mauti.
Ishara zetu zinazotuongoza.
Ndipo hata Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala katika Qur'ani,
pokea ufahamu,
asema
na tahadhari.
La yanju min dhaqtati al-qabri salihun wala talihun,
yazingatie,
haokoki na kufinywa na kaburi yoyote.
Yuje na Sheikh Ali Bahero katika bishara zetu kila Jumanne saa 2 usiku kwenye Horizon TV.
Practice this direction from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala perfectly.
Reminders from the member.
Msije mkafata nyayo na barabara na njia ya shetani.
Saingine Muslim anafikiria ni kupata mali neema.
With the best of hatibs.
We tasted the pleasure, the sweetness of ibadah, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said,
there are no times that can be equal to these days except maybe.
Tune in to Horizon TV and watch Friday khutbahs from different masajid every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. You are watching the Sabah Show. Keep it locked right here on Horizon TV. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban. Welcome to the third and final segment of Tech Tuesday with me, Yusuf Farah, still hosting George and Fauzia, talking about digitizing transport. Now, before we went on the break, Fauzia wanted to speak about the issue of buffering and systems online taking too long. And now, please carry on.
Yusuf, that's where we talk about coordinations. And this is not one man's work. So you have to rely on, for example, the IT guy. You have to rely on the bus company. It's like so many things in one place. So, and that's where even these other apps online, I won't say Iberi because I haven't tried that yet, and that's where the problem comes. As you book a flight, or let's say about hotel is better. You book a hotel today and it shows so much availability online and it's a high season, but when you end up paying for the hotel, you end up getting a call maybe from the hotel itself after them coordinating later, and you've already paid it, and they tell you, we are sorry, we don't have a room for you because the hotel is full. And that's where coordination comes. And as for a travel agency, before they do that, before they take the money from the client, they have to know every step ahead, or if that thing is available or not. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's bring this down to harmony.
Yeah.
And let's talk. George, is there space for online bookings and travel agencies to come together? Like, can the two be put together to ensure that as much as, yes, we're going online and embracing technology, we're not putting businesses like the one like Lipkin out of the market?
Yeah, definitely there's a space for the two to work together. And I strongly believe, for instance, like for ourselves, IABIRI, what we are doing, we're actually going to work with travel agencies like us, because we believe if we could advance the infrastructure in this country, let's say we have a central boarding point for all our bus companies, all people will need is a place to book the ticket and print the ticket, right? So a bus company does not necessarily need to have 1 million offices across the country. So we'll work with entities like Lipkin Travel. So you'll walk in there, book any of your tickets that you want, and you can go and travel. So those are for the traditional travelers, the people who do not embrace technology end to end. And you know, there's a section of the market whether whatever they purchase, they need something physical.
Yes.
They just don't want air, even a text they don't want.
Yeah, our fathers belong to that market.
Yeah. So for that section of the market, they'll use a travel agency. So they'll have a physical receipt, they'll have an office where they can go and present their case. Because you see, at the end of the day, what we want to do is to improve the service delivery to the customer. We want to be able to tap into all market segments. Yeah. So for those people who might not embrace technology end to end, we'll have this. They can get the tickets, and in the event they want to remanage their schedule, they can still go and work with them. Now, we'll also present, this will present another opportunity for these service providers to focus on service delivery, to improve the quality of service. You see, with the reduced overheads, they'll be able to now look at what else can we offer the customers. Of course, they'll get more money in their pockets, but they'll also look at ways of improving the quality of service they're offering the travelers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fauzia, are you in agreement with that?
Yeah.
That can work for you. All right. Now, let us talk about the IABIRI app. George, like the idea behind the IABIRI app, what is it about, what it's doing, and what problem it's solving in the market?
Right. So IABIRI, ideally, what we're doing is we are bringing information to the traveler. So anyone who wants to travel to any part of the country, we're giving you options. You see, today if I ask you, Yusuf, give me 4 bus companies that go to Isebania, you may not know.
True.
So what we are doing is we are digitizing the process of ticket booking and making it easier for you to book your ticket, pay, and again board. So what IABIRI does, it looks at the whole, the 360, the customer journey. You need to know the options of the bus companies available for your route. Once you know the options available, you need to know the availability. You need to know the prices. Then you need to know where you can board the bus from. So I might tell you there's a company called X going to Sebania, but you don't even know where you'll board the bus from. So what IABIRI does, it brings all this information to your fingertips. So when you download the IABIRI app, whether on Google Play Store or Apple Store, or go to iabiri.com, we're available on all platforms. All we need from you to be able to give you the data you want is where you're traveling from, where you're going to, and the date of travel. With that, we present you with all the information. You'll have data on availability of seats. You'll even choose the aisle or window seat, just as you'd have been given the option from a travel agent.
Okay.
So we're playing that part. Then again, we give you options to pay for your ticket using mobile money, cards. And in future, we're looking at ways of getting people who would want to pay for their tickets, but they don't have the money right then. How do we enable them get to travel? So we're looking at all the options available for the traveler.
All right, and maybe currently how many bus companies or airline companies do you have integrated in the system?
All right, so currently we have 35 bus companies, and we've covered 85% of the routes in Kenya. So if you want to travel in any direction in this country, we go to all the corners of the country, so you're able to travel. And we are looking at, before end of next year, we'll also get into the airline space. Hopefully that's when Fauzia and I
will come in.
Yes.
Perhaps Fauzia, with an opportunity like this that presents itself, it's definitely a chance for you guys as well to go on board and work together and hopefully to make things better. So that's something you're looking forward to?
I'd love to do that, but that means if travel agency will still be on the ground, because as a travel agency we still believe contact. Yeah.
So you believe in meeting people face to face.
Yes.
Well, that is an advantage for you, because the numbers that say Africa is still lagging behind.
Yeah. They have a reason.
They have a reason.
Yes.
They want to have a face-to-face contact.
We'll embrace it later, but for now, let's just stick to where we are.
Okay, maybe perhaps this question to Makori. Is it just long traveling distances, or we can do short distances? Say maybe town to Pangani, town to Kasarani, or I have to be traveling, say I want to come today, I want to go to Wajir. That's when I can access the Ayabiri app.
Currently, we are only doing intercity, long distance travel.
Okay.
But we're doing R&D for town travel. We know there are people who have tried to do the town travel, but they fail. So we're looking at why did they fail?
Okay.
What didn't they address? What are the requirements from the town service companies, the travelers, the people who work for those companies? You know, you have to look at the whole ecosystem to be able to give a solution that can be embraced and taken up by the.
Of course, with such a business, there is the obvious challenges that you guys face. So perhaps you can share some of them.
Challenges. Challenges are many, but you know, technology is diverse and solves most of them. So, you know, transport sector for the longest time has been considered or thought to be for people who haven't acquired higher education. So you go to some places, you find the players within that space don't have IT skills, and now you're bringing a computer to them. This is the first time they're seeing a computer in their lives. So we've had to build something like a curriculum. So first of all, you have to train them what a computer is, how to switch it on, basic troubleshooting procedures, and then now you show them how to use a system. Then in some areas we've had issues with power, connectivity, but then again, you know, with technology you have different options. So we've had to embrace mobile apps for such situations, and getting power banks and solar charging systems, generators for some remote areas, because you know we have customers who go all the way to Moyale, Mandera, Wajir, Dadaab. Connectivity and power is an issue.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, now let us get parting shots from you, Fauzia, and then we'll come from Ayabiri as an organization so that we finish the show. So, Fauzia, you go first.
I think what George said makes a lot of sense, but when it comes to online, I think we'll just have to take some time to make people understand and accept all whatever you've said. But for now, as a travel agency, I think we are in a better place to be helping all the walk-ins and everyone else. Yeah. And the other thing, as Lipken, we do several things. Mostly as a travel agency now, we are not even in a position to say we'll stick in one place and wait for walk-in clients, because the walk-in clients that come and the challenges we face is they come to you and ask for a fare or such destination, and they show you the online fare, which they were not able to complete, maybe because of the banking problem, the cards and all that, or even the procedure might be hard for for them. So they come and ask you to give me a fare, and when you give it, and they say, but I have cheaper online. So the challenges we face as such, our biggest problem actually is online. That's what is making us lose business. And not even only business only. It makes, like there's so many even airlines that have started now closing, and they're into now a call center. Then that number will not only be catered, for example, wildlife or airlines. Travel agency was taking a big number of employing students from after school. But now, with online, we are going down.
Okay. Definitely something that needs to be looked into. Perhaps, George, your parting shots as we finish.
So let's embrace technology. Even the students doing the travel agency courses, I think they're the ones being employed at the call centers that the airlines are opening up. At IABRI, I would encourage everyone during this busy traveling season that we are going into to try use our services. When you book a ticket with IABRI, we'll make sure that you travel. We'll manage your booking. We have a department that has that personal touch. So we'll find out from you, did you enjoy your trip? What would you like changed?
Like
you know,
after sales
service, we're getting that feedback.
Do you get to give calls to the clients?
Yes, we do give calls to the clients.
All right, these are the thoughts of my panelists in studio today, and my thought is this: maybe in the future there's a day when travel agencies and online systems will come together, because only when we work together we can achieve more. So this can be done if we agree to do this a day at a time. So thank you so much, George. Thank you so much, Fauzia, for your thoughts. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of the Sabah Show today. I've been your host, Yusuf, and I'll start with my technical team in the studio with me, my main cameraman, Hashim, doing a very good job, my sister Sumeya on my other camera, and my producer of the day, Isam Tama, his son man Muhammad Otweyo, and my brother Nasir. I haven't forgotten about you. Muhammad Ubura, I've just had you coming right now. So from me, your host Yusuf Farah, the entire Horizon TV family, it is not goodbye as usual. It is till we meet again.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.